who is the coach of the year in the NFL right now?
I think for me, and there may be some hometown bias here, Kevin O'Connell, just based off of what the Vikings looked like last year, how dismal they looked, especially at the end of the season. That team just looked like it was ready to give up. And all of a sudden, this team looks like they're playing for each other. They're getting big time plays at very key moments. Sure, their defense has given up a lot of yards and at some point will come back down to earth and probably give up too many yards and too many points. But right now, the way they've played over the first 6 weeks of the season, you think this team, if they can win the division, which they would have to give it away at this point because the Packers and Bears are just not playing well enough to take it from them. If they can win the division and maybe win a playoff game, he's got that in the bag. The closest competition for him is Brian Dable, but I think Kevin O'Connell gets to win because he'll have won the division. I get Brian Dable's in a very tough division with the Eagles and Cowboys above him, but I think the division will give Kevin O'Connell the division win will give Kevin O'Connell the very narrow edge in that competition between those two guys.
So I think there's a chance at that. They probably have to win 12 or 13 games for that to happen, which is possible when you look at the hex that they've put on all of their upcoming opponents. It's unbelievable. Washington's playing a backup quarterback. Indianapolis just benched theirs. New England doesn't know who their quarterback is or what to do. The New York Jets lost Elijah Vera Tucker and Breece Hall in the same week for the entire season. There is an opportunity there, and I think that Kevin O'Connell has a great chance at it if they can win 12 or 13. As of this moment, I think that Kevin O'Connell's coaching job has only been okay based on the fact that they have a middling offense. Like if they had a top 5 offense, I would say, wow, he did something completely different and deserves to be looked at differently. But I looked at the numbers through the first 6 games of this year and last year. They were remarkably similar outside of some lucky things like the penalty differential, the turnover differential. So I don't think that they've been much different from what they were last year. They're sort of playing, and if you look at their expected win-loss, they're playing like a 500 football team that has 5 wins and 1 loss. So things have kind of gone their way. For me, though, I don't like to think too hard about this. I mean, one, of course, is Robert Saleh, who deserves a lot of credit for being 5-2, defensive coach, hasn't had great offense. But let's not look too much at the forest through the trees here. The Buffalo Bills are 5-1. They are dominating, and they have the best offense and the best defense. Their coach is phenomenal. He had to change offensive coordinators this year. They went to Ken Dorsey. That nothing has changed. Their defense, which is run by Sean McDermott, is outstanding. I don't know that anybody's done a better job than him. However, Andy Reid in Kansas City, again, it's okay to go obvious with coach of the year. Andy Reid in Kansas City, there was the sentiment that they might drop off because they lost Tyreek Hill. They had to take some steps back with the salary cap, and they are still playing tremendous football. You can give the slight edge to Buffalo, but I think that roster is not as good, and yet they've made the adjustments on offense to get Mahomes back to where he was 2 years ago. And then Nick Sirianni in Philadelphia, 6-0, off to a tremendous start, getting Jalen Hurts to the next level. I mean, just like there are some of these awards that we always kind of go on, like, who surprised us? Who didn't we expect? It's okay to pick the guy who's just got the best team. Nick Sirianni is somebody who, in all seriousness, I had no idea who that man was when they hired him. I thought, oh, this is going to be one of those, like the guy's a coach for a year, doesn't know what he's doing, and then he moves on with his life. And it's been exactly the opposite. He's done a tremendous job in Philadelphia, and those guys at the top deserve the credit. No hot takes for hot routes for my picks. I think yours was definitely hotter. But there's some other potential candidates who could emerge. Your guy, Mike McCarthy, of course. I know you have no belief in him whatsoever, but
never.
If they were to win the division, then it would be 2 years in a row of having really good seasons under McCarthy. So anyway, the NFL continues to baffle and fascinate us